Hey everyone, it's Ann Carden here, and I want to talk to you today. If you are a coach, a consultant, an entrepreneur who has you need to niche down in your business, or you think you need to niche down in your business, but maybe you have been struggling in this area, or maybe you're in a niche that doesn't really work for you. You don't like it very much. You've kind of found yourself in a business model that you don't really like so much, then this training will be for you. I'm going to actually break down for you, do you really need to pick a niche? How important is it? The do's and don'ts of picking a niche and what it can do for your business. And my name is Ann Carden. I'm an international business and marketing consultant for people just like you, helping you guys build a great business, a great bank account, and a great life from your business. I'm also a CEO of A Carden Incorporated. I'm a 2-time author, soon to be a 3-time author, speaker, and I'm also a podcast host of 8 Minutes with Brilliant Business Owners. So I'm excited to talk about this topic because this is one of the things that I help coaches and consultants do in their business, is really define their niche and figure out, okay, who is their best target market, and then what is the best way to set themselves apart from everyone else in their industry. So what is a niche exactly? First of all, it is a segment of the marketplace that you are going to kind of build your business strategy and your marketing strategy around. So it's kind of your target audience, but it can go even deeper than that. So let's say, for example, I'm a personal trainer. Okay, that's kind of a niche within itself. I'm not just a regular fitness pro. I'm a personal trainer. But now let's say I want to go deeper, and I say I'm a personal trainer that wants to work with athletes. But now I want to go even deeper, and I want to specialize, and I say I'm a personal trainer who works with soccer players who are trying to get into college, and I want to help them with their agility. Okay, so that would be like a niche within a niche within a niche. So it's going layers deep. But do you see how all of a sudden it takes what seemed kind of common, like a personal trainer, and it actually makes that person look specialized, right? They become specialized. So what this means is it's easier to stand out as an expert in what you are doing. So is a niche important for your business? Yes. Absolutely. And it's even more important if you are marketing online, because it is a busy marketplace. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. And the more niche down you get, the more specialized you can become. So if you want to build an expert authority business, you need to choose a niche. Now, one of the things that people are so afraid of is they're so afraid they're going to miss out on all of this business if they actually choose a niche. And I want to tell you the opposite is absolutely true, because when I first started in my coaching and consulting business, I struggled with this for probably the first couple of years, trying to define my niche, trying to figure out who is my perfect audience, who do I most want to work with, how do I want to position myself in the marketplace. And so I really struggled with this, and I will tell you it held me back as a result. But when I actually niched down in my business, it was such a game changer, because all of a sudden now my business strategy, what I was offering, my marketing message, even finding my ideal clients was so much simpler. And it was like all of a sudden I had this laser focused. I knew exactly who I was looking for. I knew exactly how to get in front of them. And I knew exactly what I could sell them and how I could serve them. And so this is really the beauty of picking a niche. It's opposite of thinking you're going to miss out on all this business. I still have other people coming to me. In fact, it's actually how I started working with coaches and consultants. Many of them were coming to me because they were seeing my success as a business consultant, a business coach, and I realized they needed help in their business as well. And so I actually have 2 niches. I won't probably ever give up the first one because I love it so much, but I also love helping coaches and consultants and entrepreneurs build their business as well, with the things that I've been able to do in my own business and the things that I've helped other people be able to do. So as coaches and consultants started coming to me, I actually decided I was going to go into that niche as well. So that's in some ways my online niche. And then offline, I actually work with a lot of contractors in the trades industry, and I work with small business owners. So that's my offline. Mostly the contractor trade space is where I've really chosen my niche. And I've never owned a contracting business or a trade business ever. But I worked with a couple of clients who needed my help, and I had some great results with them, and they told other people, and then I was able to kind of leverage that. And as I worked with a multitude of contractors and trades in the trades industry, I actually was able to just niche myself in that area and become an expert at helping them build their businesses. And so this actually, coaches and consultants and entrepreneurs, became my second niche, my second business, because again, as they were coming to me, I saw an opportunity to help them as well. So I have two separate ones, but I will tell you, it's not the easiest way to go. And I don't ever recommend that you start two at one time. Get one working well, and then you can ultimately duplicate what you have been doing for a second niche. But typically, if you're going to work in two niches, they need to be closely related. Now, yes, I help coaches build their business. Yes, I help contractors and small business owners build their business, but there are still a lot of differences in the two. So it isn't the easiest for me to have two different niches like this. But let's say I was, for example, going to work with women coaches building their business, right? And then I made the decision, okay, now I'm going to work with men. Ultimately, those are very closely related. So some of the messaging would change, maybe some of the offers would change, but what I was ultimately helping them do would be very similar. That's the way I would recommend if you are going to choose more than one niche. That's the way I would recommend that you do it. You want them to be closely aligned, okay? So you don't have a whole lot of difference between the two, just some slight tweaking or some slight changes, and you can now target two audiences. But let's talk about one today, okay? So the first thing I want you to understand is that there are basically three core niches that everything's going to stem from. There's health, okay? This is going to be all your fitness people, all your nutrition people, doctors, anyone that falls in the health and wellness, okay? So there's health and wellness. You could call that one niche if you want. There's wealth. This is all about the money, right? Making more money, building your wealth. And then there's relationships. And this is marriages and dating and all of those, divorce, all of those things that come out of relationships. So those are the three core niches that most people are going to be in one of those areas, okay, in their business. So first of all, which area are you in? And then how deep can you actually go with your niche? So again, the more you niche down, a niche within a niche within a niche, just like I used the example of the personal trainer, now becoming a personal trainer for soccer players who want to get into college, helping them with their agility. That's very specialized, right? Well, the great thing about doing this is, number one, you practically eliminate your competition. They really don't even exist, okay, by the time you specialize in something. And the other part that's so important is you can be the specialist, you can be the expert, and you can become really good at what you do. And, people today are very, very savvy, and they're overloaded with all the options really to work with someone like me and someone like you, that the more specialized we can be, number one, we can charge higher fees because experts make more money. So there's that. But the second thing is, it is going to make you stand out, and people are seeking experts. They're not seeking the generalist anymore. They're not seeking a business coach. They're not seeking a life coach. They're not seeking a fitness coach. They're seeking a specialist, okay? If you want to be a personal trainer who specializes in women over 40 that need to lose 100 pounds, that's very specific, right? And now everything that you do backs that up and supports that. And you can become really, really good in that segment of the market. And so this is the importance of niching down. Now, I want to tell you, when you're choosing a niche, how do you even choose, right? I know there's kind of an idea out there that you should choose a niche where there's a lot of money. Now, here's the one thing I want to tell you. there's a lot of money in almost every area. Okay, there's a lot of money in health, there's a lot of money in wealth, there's a lot of money in relationships, and the key is really defining your target audience. So this is going to be your demographic, right? This could be age, this could be race, religion, profession, what are the location, all the different things that go into a demographic. Okay, so you want to get very clear and very defined on who the demographic is that you want. Do you want to work with people that have a certain income? For example, if I'm going to work with contractors, I want their business to be at a certain level. I don't want them to be a solo contractor. I want them to be growing a company. Okay, so I'm very clear on who those people are that I want to work with. I'm not interested in really working with job owners who just want to make an income for themselves. That's really not the area that I want to work in. I want to work in with people building companies that they want to grow and scale their company. Okay, so I'm very clear about that. I even have a couple of different trades that I really like working in. So I actually have niched down even a little bit more there. But with coaches and consultants, again, I have a startup program, but most of my clients that I work with are not startups unless they, number one, are trying to start a consulting company, leaving a career, okay? So they're in a place where they're ready to start their own thing, but they need the structure and they need to know how to market, they need to know how to sell, and they need to know how to really, structure that business to launch it. So those are good startup people for me. Good startup people for me are people that have been trying to build their business for maybe 6 to 8 months, but they really haven't gained any traction. Those are also good startup coaches or consultants for me. Who I don't work with are people who just wake up one day and say, you know what, I think I'm going to go to life coaching school and get my certification to be a life coach. And there's really no expertise there. They don't have any business knowledge. They've maybe never been in business before. They don't really get that they're even going to need a coach or that they're going to need any help. So I don't work with those people. And so by really defining who it is I want to work with and who I do work with, it simplifies my process, okay? It simplifies it. And so you can do the same thing in your business, all right? So which core area would your business fall into? And then how deep can you go on your niche? Now, again, there's money in every one of those areas. However, you do want to pick a profitable niche. And I don't think you have to necessarily go after an industry where you think there's more money. I think there is money in almost anything. But you do want to make sure that you're not fighting a losing battle by picking a niche where they have no resources or no funds to actually invest in you. The other thing that I look for is, are they in the right mindset? Are they seeking a solution? When people don't they don't look for a solution, or they don't even know what a coach is, or they don't even know what a consultant is, or they're not willing to invest. Those are not the people you really want to target, right? Because it's kind of a losing battle. You're really starting an uphill climb there. Now, yes, you can put those people in your database and you can nurture them, or you can stay in front of them in a Facebook group, or however you market your business. But typically, those are not the people you want to target. So when you think about choosing a great niche, pick a niche that's profitable, but also pick a niche where they're in the right mindset to actually invest in your services. And this will make things so much easier for you as well. So for example, maybe a coach or consultant that's already hit the $100,000 a year mark, they are going to be a lot more savvy and realize they've probably even already invested in coaching, right? And so they're going to be a lot more savvy to make an investment in themselves than someone who is literally at zero and has a long road ahead of them. All right, so think about that when you're choosing a niche. You don't want to start at, really, I like to call it almost negative, right? Where you're really having to drag them on the bus and drag them up the hill. Okay, so that's the first thing. when you actually pick a niche and you can stand out as the expert, you can stand out against all of the competition that's out there in that same core niche, now you can back up and support your business with all of your marketing and your message and your business strategy and your marketing strategy. And this is going to simplify your business. So for example, if I'm looking for chiropractors to help them build $1 million business, I can find chiropractors everywhere, right? It's so much easier to find them. I can buy a list. I can Google them. I can get on Facebook. I can get on LinkedIn. I can go to chiropractic trade shows or conferences where chiropractors are. And there's no shortage of finding chiropractors, right? And this is the beauty of picking a niche, because it's so much easier to find your target audience. Now, we also have what we call psychographics, and I'm not going to get into marketing so much today, but the thing that's so great about picking a niche is when you decide who it is you most want to work with, now you can get into the psychographics of that audience. And the psychographics are really how they think. It's what's going on in their head. It's the language they're using. It's what they're saying to themselves. What are the things that are problems for them? What are their pains? What are their desires? All of those things go into the psychographics of a target audience. Okay, so it makes it so much simpler to create marketing messaging and a marketing strategy when you have a niche and you understand the psychographics. So for example, I like to use Dan Kennedy. If you don't know who Dan Kennedy is, I think most people do, but probably the greatest marketer in the world of all time, ever. And Dan Kennedy talks about in some of his books about how he got so good in the chiropractic space, really diving in and learning the chiropractic profession, that people used to think he was a doctor. When he would go to conferences and he would speak on stage, they would call him Dr. Kennedy. And that's because he knew the industry so well. He said he probably almost could have been a chiropractor from all the studying and everything that he did and learned in that profession. And so this is what makes niching down so great, is you actually can become so exceptional at what you are doing. Just like I did with the trades, right? I didn't know anything about a contractor's business until I started working with them. And then I became really good at understanding what their struggles are and their hurdles and how to fix those things in their business. And not only that, I could leverage that I worked with this client, and I worked with this client, and I worked in this industry in the contractor space. And that's how it just kind of snowballed, and how I ended up in that niche, even though it wasn't something I was really looking for. And again, the same thing kind of happened with the coaching and consulting niche for me. As I started helping coaches build their business, create their offers, get their marketing right, choose their niche, start scaling and growing their business, and adding hundreds of thousands of dollars to their business in a very, very short amount of time, I found myself again in another niche because of the results that I was able to get people. And so it's so important when you pick your niche that you really become the expert in that niche, and you really become great at getting the results for your clients. Now, when you're choosing a niche, I do want to tell you it is easier if you are aligned in some way with your target audience. So for example, I mentioned the personal trainer who might want to work with women over 40 who need to lose 100 pounds, okay? If that trainer had lost 100 pounds themselves, and that's the passion that got them into wanting to help other people, then how much easier is it going to be for that trainer to, number one, have confidence that they can help other people, because they're going to already understand the hurdles and the struggles and the frustrations that go along with having to get that 100 pounds off, right? And so that's kind of all the emotion and the psychographics. And so it's that person's going to be credible because they've already done it themselves, right? And people are going to be very drawn to that. So the closer you can be with your niche, the easier it will be for you in your business. So choose something that you have become really good at, or choose something that you've maybe a career that you've had that you've been really good at. And how can you now leverage that as your target audience and even your expertise to build your business around. Okay, this will simplify things so much. And actually, I talked about professionals wanting to start their own business and launch their own consulting business. This is exactly what I do with them. I help them package up what I like to call their sweet spot, which is basically their area of expertise. And now let's structure your whole business around this. And guess what? You don't have to go out there and convince people that you know what you're doing. They're already going to know they know that you know what you're doing because you do, right? And so now it's just a matter of, okay, how do you put this into an actual business structure or business model, and how, what do you sell and how is that packaged up and all of those things. But you don't have to convince people that you know what you're doing. And this is why being aligned with your niche or your target audience is so, so important. It will just speed things along, and you'll be able to get even better and better and better in that niche. Now, a lot of people think they're going to miss out on a lot of business if they niche down, but I have to tell you, really the opposite is true. You will still have people coming to you from other industries and other target audiences that want to work with you because something you say or something you do in your marketing is going to resonate with them. A good example of this is I have a client who has positioned her business to help CPAs, accountants, bookkeepers, actually who are established, actually build a bigger and better, a more profitable business, making more income with less employees and spending less time in their business. And she's a business and marketing strategist, and this is what she has positioned her whole business model around. But she's had attorneys come to her, and she's had other people from other industries reach out to her because they like what she's saying and they still feel like she can help them. And so you can do this too. So it doesn't mean you're eliminating everyone else. It doesn't mean that you can't work with other people. I work with all types of small business owners. Even though I'm marketing myself this way or this way, I still get other business owners that are like, well, I want to make more money and I want more time back in my life, right? And so they'll say, can you help me too? Well, of course, business is business, right? Marketing is marketing. It doesn't really matter. I can help anyone in almost any industry, but I do niche myself into basically two different areas, as I've said, because it simplifies my business. It simplifies my marketing. It simplifies my focus. And it simplifies my business. And so you can do this too. And it is much easier to build a lucrative business when you are an expert and people are seeking you out. Okay, so let's talk about some don'ts. First of all, I want you to think about if you are in business, you need to separate charity from building a profitable business. So one of the big things I see with coaches, especially, we have a heart to help people, right? We want to make a difference. We want to make an impact. We want to influence. But what I see a lot, not so much maybe with business coaches, but I see it a lot with life coaches, their whole focus is around helping people. And so they have this heart that's almost charitable. Well, I want to tell you, you cannot build a business, a profitable business, with a charitable heart. Okay? Here's my recommendation. Keep them separate. Build a highly profitable business, and then you can give everything you want to charity. Okay, you can support those charities and all of those missions and all of those things that are so, so important to you. But if you are not profitable, if you're not a profitable business, you are going to have a difficult time doing that. So keep the two separated. I cannot stress this enough. So in other words, when you're choosing a niche, pick a niche where there is an opportunity for those people to invest in your help. So if I'm looking for, let's just say, for example, single mothers who are on welfare, it is going to be a broken business model that is not ever going to get me anywhere. Okay, so two different things. But if I want to build a profitable business and then I want to do a helping hand to help those single mothers who are on welfare, then I can do that, right? So don't start with that kind of a target audience, even though they need the help. don't start with them because they're not going to have the means to pay you, which means you're going to be struggling as a business owner. So keep the two separated. It's very, very important. You're either in business or you're a charity. Pick and choose, but a great business can support all the charities you want. Okay. One other thing that I really want to talk about is also make sure that the niche or the audience that you pick is in the right life cycle. Okay. And what do I mean by this? Someone just coming out of college, for example, who has, $200,000 in debt, let's just say, and they really don't know what they want to do yet, and they're trying to kind of make their own way and figure things out. Again, it might be a difficult niche for you. So you choose people who are kind of already seeking a solution that you have. They're already seeking help. That's, again, going to speed your results in your business. So the other thing I want to tell you is you're not married to your niche. So if you start in one niche and you find out that's not the right thing for you, or you're not really passionate about it, or you don't feel really aligned with it, then you can certainly move into another niche. You don't have to stay there. And so this is the common mistake that people make, is they don't even get started. They don't pick a niche, and so they flail around, and their business just gets mediocre results because they haven't drilled down to pick a niche and just get started in a niche, okay? But it will simplify things. And if you get into one and you find out you don't like it, you'll be surprised how other opportunities will present themselves. Just like working with you guys. I didn't start out working with coaches and consultants. In fact, I really didn't want to, because most of the ones that I knew were struggling financially. And so again, choosing an audience that is struggling financially, is that the best place? But I already had another side of my business that was doing exceptional, doing very, very well. And so it felt like a very natural fit. And I'm like, okay, I know I can help coaches and consultants. And so I spun off, and I did choose this as a niche too. But I wasn't married to one or the other. Okay. And so you'll be surprised how opportunities will present themselves when you just get started. Just like with the contractors, I actually do a lot more with plumbing companies, with business owners and plumbing companies, than probably all the trades put together. And again, that just kind of happened as I started working with a couple of them and having amazing results. Again, it was one of my favorite trades to work with. And so I kind of started targeting them. And so sometimes you don't even know the opportunities that are going to come your way if you just sit back and say, oh, I don't know what niche to choose. I don't know how to pick one. Just pick one. And if you can make it closely aligned with you, it's going to be easier. I worked with a coach, oh gosh, this has been several years back, and she was in a corporate job, and she was very highly paid. She was over six figures in that corporate job, but she wanted to start her own business. And she decided, as we worked together, she wanted to help other people start their own business, kind of like a side hustle, so they could build it up and then ultimately replace their income and move out of corporate America. And I said to her, as far as your niche or your target audience, do you want to help other people who are in corporate America do the same thing? And she said, well, I said, because you're already around them. You're already surrounded by all of your target audience. And she didn't want to do that because she said, I just have to be so careful. I'm in a position. I'm going to target, this group over here. And what she found was that was a disconnect, and she ended up going back and actually under the radar kind of targeting the people who were not happy in their job and did want to build a business and start building something that could replace their income. So after a year of flailing around over here, finding that there was just kind of a disconnect, she ended up going back to the original audience that I had talked to her about, in the first place. And here's why. It was easy access. Who do you have access to? This is another big factor. Who do you most have access to? And is that going to be a good target for you? And then the other thing I just want to finish up with is you can create what we call a unique selling proposition. And this is again where your program, your offers are completely unique to you. And this is going to help set you apart from everyone else in your competition. Okay. So, again, using the example of the personal trainer who was going to help women over 40 lose 100 pounds, maybe a female personal trainer, because she had done that herself. And then who are the people that she knows that could use that, right? Who are the people she has access to that could use those services. Same thing with the agility coach. Maybe this person has a soccer background. They know what it takes to get into college. Maybe they had a college scholarship themselves, and now they probably already know people in the soccer. Kind of the soccer sport, right? That are going to need these services. So who do you have access to? And think about that when you choose your niche. Super important as well. So I gave you a lot of great information today, I believe, on choosing your niche. Again, you're not married to it. You can change it if it doesn't work out for you, or you find it's just not something that you love or you're passionate about. Choose one that's profitable. Keep charity and business separate. Make sure that you drill down a niche as deep as you can. That's going to make it so much easier. And then obviously make sure your marketing is supporting everything that you're doing, that you're setting yourself up as the expert. And this will simplify your business strategy and your marketing strategy, and you will do so much better in your business to make those big financial leaps. So hope this was helpful. I want to wish you have an amazing day, and let me know if I can be of any help to you in your business. Bye-bye.